So I keep getting like some people telling me that there's this guy leaking or, leaking information or whatever it is, leaking videos or not sure how he does it. He's very skilled. But anyways, right? We do not care. It's just as simple as that, right? The information that you guys are getting, the information that you guys have, precision swing points, and sequential SMT, precision levels, all that good stuff. It's elementary. Remember, before I talked about precision swing points, what did you know? All you knew was swing points. All you knew was swing highs and swing lows, right? You didn't know about that before, but now you do. Now you do, right? So these things, literally, you have no idea, right? When I say that, I mean it. Like, first of all, you have everything that you need. You don't have to be here anymore. But everything that you have is amazing. It's just that you now, right, need me to tell you how to use them. Which, if you spend time on your own, you could figure out. But I will do that, of course. And I constantly, do that, right? When I hint to certain levels, anytime you see me, just post a chart and I just highlight the SMT, what do I expect? That means that I expect price to reverse. It's common sense. Anytime I talk about SMT just basically means reversal, in my opinion, like to me. So whenever I see SMT, I'm anticipating price to turn around, right? That's it. And if you put everything together that we've talked about so far, your precision will be unmatched. You will not be participating in areas where you should not. Like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, when it comes to the futures market and even the forex market, like when it comes to determining market conditions, when it comes to determining reversals, like how much times like have we been right, like, and how much times have we been wrong? Like, honestly, right? You have like some people, they have their service or whatever, but there's always wrong, and they're like, oh, we lose sometimes, and stuff like that. We really, we're really wrong. Of course, sometimes probably like 2 or 3 times. I don't remember, like probably two. Like, we've been wrong, but like the majority of the time, our accuracy have been great. It's immaculate, like, in all honesty. So like, and just with that, right? If now you're like struggling with trading, right? Once you understand price action, trading becomes easier because you will know more times than not what price is going to do. And I don't make it complicated, right? The more complicated things that we will learn down, in the further months, which would deal with things that are outside of price. Now, those will be complicated a little bit. So the plan that I have to, get you guys encouraged, get you guys using these things that we're currently talking about, these concepts, which you've never heard of before me. Be honest, no, you never heard of it. Like, okay, let's talk about Michael. When Michael talked about SMT, where did he get it from? Dow theory. Fair value gaps were in books before we talked about it, right? But sequential SMT has never been talked about in history. You can't find that. You can't find that. No one knows what that is. No one knows no one will know what that is. No one knows what that is. Before I talk about it, no one knows what that is. You don't understand that. And the accuracy is crazy. When I say it's crazy, it's crazy. Literally. It's amazing. It works. Right? So what I believe, like, Michael, where he got like breakers from. I believe he got breakers from, studying SMT. Literally. That's what I believe. Because wherever you have, for example, this low right here, say this was SMT, and this high right here. Once price trades back into this candle, it's going to expand. Right? I'm not saying this is SMT, what I'm saying if it was. Right? Price takes this low, this would be a breaker. This would be a breaker right here, this candle. Price trades back down into it and expand. But if there was SMT here, it's really high probability. But when there's sequential SMT there, how can you really lose? Like how can, if you make any mistake, like if you lose a trade, it's just based on you basically. And this is the model that I'm working on. I've been working on for like 5 years, over four, like a very long time. It's just been, I'm just been in the office studying, trying new things, failing miserably most of the time. But 1,000 failures equal to one success. And that's just how I see it. Right? So I don't make failures bother me. Like if I'm trying something, it's not working, I don't understand. What happens to me too, I used to get confused with my own theory. Because I knew that something was there, right? But I just didn't understand completely. But it's very fascinating, right? To just see this thing working, right? And currently, right, look at the dollar index, US dollar index. We're in between this swing high and this swing low, right? This creates high probability conditions. When low probability conditions, my bad. So when we're in between a higher time frame cycle swing high and swing low, that creates low probability conditions, right? When we have low probability conditions in regards to the US dollar, what do you use when you're trading the S&P 500 and NASDAQ? US 30, if you trade US 30. The only thing you should be focusing on when prices like this here is the monthly cycle, right? And that is why you usually have, listen, I'm explaining the mechanics of the markets to you in such a simple manner. I'm not talking about some, you know, liquidity or no, no, no. I'm just telling you as how it is. No one can like explain it this easy for you to understand. But anyways, when you have the US dollar in conditions such as this, consolidating near equilibrium of this high and this low, you just use the monthly cycle when you're trading the index futures. And the thing about that is, once you get in line with the monthly cycle, right? For example, you're looking to trade Q2 and then, there's SMT between Q1 and Q2 on the 4-hour time frame. That's important. The time frame, right? It's the time frame synchronization, that's important. You need to understand this. And I'll repeat this so much times until you realize that this, like, I can't get this to fail. Like that's what I want your reaction to be. I can't get this to fail. Right? Some of you are gonna want to just do swing trades. You're not gonna want to be trading every day. Because you're gonna be like, there is this thing that's like 85, 90% accuracy. It has 85 to 90% accuracy. It rarely fails. There may be times when you you will make an attempt, fail, stop out, but then you go back in, then you're good, right? Why? Because those types of trades yield a large, a large range moves. They create large range moves. So based on the magnitude of the SMT and the specific quarters that it form within, that's how you can calibrate beforehand the level of expansion that you will have. So if price comes down here and there is SMT, listen, this high is dead, right? It's gone. What would happen if this happened? If this happened, you'd probably have crypto either consolidating or trending higher. Price comes down here, you'd have stocks trending higher. But once it reverses, it's over. Everything's over, right? Everything's over. Price goes above this high before this low. Maybe we would expect price to fall back within the range. Do you understand? If price trades below this low, or even there's SMT and it just managed to trade within this area or below this low, and it goes above this high, this would be the time that you literally buy everything. Like you become, I don't want to give false dreams and hopes and stuff like that, but that's when you buy stocks, hold them forever. Because this high right here is the previous high of the past congenial cycle. You understand? So we would have SMT if, the other asset classes follow suit between this congenial cycle and the current one. Do you understand how powerful this thing is? You get it, what it is, X equals to SMT. There's other things you don't understand about it either. You will have certain, for example, you will have certain dates, certain weeks, certain months that are blank. Like this. You don't know what this means. Because I didn't tell the guy that coded, I didn't tell him what it means. So I didn't put anything there. Just blank. You ever seen this happen? You're like, why is, this one is blank. Why? Why does it happen? Because it should happen. Do you have some time where it doesn't happen? Do you have it happening here? Happening here, here, here. Why? It happens for a reason. Remember, nothing is random. Quarterly theory. It's phenomenal. You guys suppose that you should be able to see this by now. Like by next week, like after Sunday analysis, right? Because I believe that next week should be good. We should be able to catch something proper next week, right? Believe me, we should be able to catch something proper next week. And I will talk about cryptocurrency. Don't worry, I'll talk about cryptocurrency when we get through this. We should be able to catch some good moves next week, like in regards to the index futures, right? Because right now the forex market is a mess. It's a mess. Not untradeable, but just shouldn't be trading this right now. So right here, right, we had price fall. Take out this liquidity pool. There's a breaker here. And why would I even consider this as a breaker? Due to the fact that there was SMT here, right? If there is not SMT, I'm not going to consider, I wouldn't consider this as a breaker. So that's for those that are, not fluent in this language. The last down close candle before price runs liquidity. That's important. I believe in this, right? What I don't like is order blocks. I don't like order blocks that much, right? I just focus on imbalances, highs, lows, and that's it. Imbalances, highs, lows, wicks, and that's it. So we actually expected price to trade below these lows. I don't know if you guys remember, like from I'm not sure which review, and we actually like from weeks ago. First of all, from we were here, since we were here, we expected price to trade above this high. You guys remember? And then we expected price to return in the range. It's insane. Then what happened when this happened? There was SMT. Do you see how much I stress that? Because if you can like understand that, you're golden. Just understand that. The importance of SMT. Not order blocks. Not breakers. Not even imbalances. But there are times when SMT works and there's no imbalance. There's just a wick. Price returns to the wick. But why does it return to the wick sometimes? Because wicks are actually gaps too. Wicks are actually gaps too. It says gaps, wicks, highs, lows. Right? That's it. Literally. There is no one on the planet right now. Like I don't want to like be that guy, but like who has this accuracy? I used to like, post trades on Twitter or whatever, but like you need to see someone actually doing this in front of telling you beforehand this is gonna happen. Okay, this is going to be SMT right here. Before price even leaves the range, I'm telling you that if price gets here, then there should be SMT. I could have made it like very hard and could have made it hard and be like price is just gonna run the slow and rally, but I tell you why it's gonna rally. If you don't like SMT, you need to start liking it now. If you don't like SMT, you just haven't used it before, and this is why I keep. It's like me spreading the gospel of trading, right? Everything that Michael's work is based on, it's SMT. Right? It's SMT. SMT is based on Dow theory. ICT refined it. Started using it on lower time frames, whatever. I perfected it. And not like I got a little bit pretty good at I perfected it. I've told you guys the days that SMT would form before it happened. The times. Right? I don't have to like act like I'm faking this. I don't have to like be like, oh, we were wrong. No. If I'm wrong, which I will probably be in the future, it's just like because of me interpreting the charts wrong or I missed something. Right? This group is a group for wizards. Right? It's for those that want to be crazy. Like crazy good. People looking at you like, what? Like, how did you know that? That's the level that you want to be at. People just like throwing money at you. Can you help us affirm, you're in drawdown or whatever? What do you think that we should do? You have this, this simple logic that we talk about here. You need to focus on the things that I talk about. Everyone keeps talking about like seasonal tendency. Listen, if there is a bullish, listen to me right now. If there's a bullish seasonal tendency, like when I usually tweet on Twitter, I talk about seasonal tendency and COT data. I just didn't want to talk about this as yet. Because that is a way that you can like come to this conclusion. It's just that you will not have the accuracy or the confidence. Because seasonal tendency is like 50-50 most of the time. It's very ambiguous. It has no, nothing that's like sure, close to surety. And there's no surety in trading, but we're getting there. Literally. Like, how much time, like, and take this into consideration what I'm talking about right now. Most of you guys will not like listen to what I'm saying right now, but just listen. How much times have you seen the weekly cycles sequential SMT fail in regards to the futures markets? How much times? How much times have you seen the monthly sequential SMT fail in regards to the futures market? Bro, how much times? You probably haven't even seen it fail yet. That's it. You probably haven't even seen it fail yet. Remember, the highest time frame, the highest cycle that the futures time frame will reach for information is the monthly cycle. That's what starts everything. That's where everything starts from. Right? Whenever the dollar index is confused, whenever the forex market is confused, when everything is confused, and this is why the futures market is the best market to trade. Because when everyone else is confused, and if they're, listen, you just need SMT on the forward chart on within the monthly cycle. And then you know where it's gonna go. How much times have you guys seen me like tell you that beforehand? It's barely even been 3 months. Barely even been 3 months. Like that's what you need to focus on. Right? You're focusing on the 90-minute cycles. You're focusing on the micro session cycles, and that's why it seems hard for you. That is why it is difficult. Because you're not focusing on the higher time frame cycles. That's exactly why it feels difficult. If you would just work down from the higher time frame cycles, right? Look at the monthly cycle. Is there SMT? What's the monthly time frame saying? What's the monthly cycle saying? Right? The monthly cycle, like, is there anything that indicates that price will go higher? No. Okay, no. When you say no, then you go to the weekly cycle. If there is no information on the monthly cycle, you go to the weekly cycle. You find information. Okay, sequential SMT is right here. But what do you need? You need a lower time frame sequential SMT for that to be activated. I'm telling you how the markets work. Do you understand? You have the best information right now. You should see what other people's learning right now. There is no ambiguity here, right? If there is no sequential SMT, what do we do? Nothing. Nothing at all. Regular, if the SMT is fake, we see fake SMT. If it's fake bearish SMT above those highs, that's just liquidity. And you need to focus on these things. So you need to be on the higher time frame cycle. Monthly, you work down monthly, then weekly, then daily. Right? When are the best times to anticipate reversals? First of all, you would probably believe that it's like Q3. No, no, no. It's actually not. Q4. Mm-hmm. Why? Why is it Q4? This is due to the fact that Q4 was designed for reversals. So when you have sequential SMT where price was designed to reverse, it's going to be explosive. And that's why it's always explosive. Whenever the low of the week is Thursday, clears everything. When the high of the day is the afternoon session, it's a massive drop. Have you ever realized? These are things you must take into consideration. You understand? Between Friday and Monday, there can be SMT. Between Monday and Tuesday, there can be SMT. Between Tuesday and Wednesday, there can be SMT. Right? Quarter to three, 1, 2, 3, 4. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. But before the first quarter, you have 0. Mm-hmm. So 0 can change, right? It's not constant. For the weekly cycle, 0 could be Friday or it could be Thursday. If it runs a high, it just depends if it runs Thursday or Friday, so which one's higher. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4. For the 90-minute cycle, the previous fourth quarter would just be 0. Very important information. So, and now, first of all, let me just look at very quickly. Look at Bitcoin. Sauce, right? First of all, I don't know why anyone would try to share this when you cannot just become rich. It's insane, actually. But like that's why I started at such a low level, right? Such a low level. But anyways, right now what we're looking at is the yearly cycle and the weekly time frame. So we have Bitcoin taking all-time high. Do you just short right now? No. And before we, go on, right? Just for credibility reasons, if you go on my Twitter, you can see that we were bearish. I was bearish here. Bearish here. I think I actually shorted I post my execution here. Was short here above this high. I don't remember if there was SMT. I was short here, price and this here, but yeah. From price was here, we were calling for 28,000, which was insane. Right? When we were here, I was bullish, 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 and I'll tell you why I was bullish here and why I was bullish here. Right here is where I got short stop here, got stopped out. Been out since then, right? But the next one, I'm pretty sure that we'll get it correct. So before we have any, clear conclusion about Bitcoin, what should we see? We need to see, first of all, we need to see consolidation. Right? You're not just going to see prices drop just like that. we need to see consolidation. Once there's consolidation, we look for SMT. Just like over here, we're going to learn something right now. You have SMT between the third quarter and the fourth, right? Here, because I remember this, right? You have SMT between the second quarter and the third, right? And here we have SMT between this low and this low. So here, this is why I was like bullish here overall. Like wanted price to trade down here and rally. SMT, yearly cycle. This is where Bitcoin pulls information, right? So if we're here, we see consolidation, and for example, see SMT between the third quarter and the second quarter, or the second quarter and the first quarter, then we can anticipate price to fall. Do you understand? Do you see that everything revolves around SMT? Like, could it really be that simple? You know? Do you see this? It's not hard. Like, it's not hard. And you can make a lot of money with this, which we will, you know, whenever price like turns around. And there are larger cycles for Bitcoin that, you know, we can use, which we will eventually get to as we progress. Because, like, you know, you guys don't know where the cycles start or not or end. So I will clear that up for you. And here is just another gem. Pay attention to this one. I want to see who gets this. We're going to talk about this next week. But we had SMT here between Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? But when price fell and failed to break below this low, we had SMT again between Bitcoin and Ethereum. What do you get from this? Right? We first of all, both of these, you know, the swing high and the swing low was both formed in the same quarter. And this will help you. Look how simple I made. I could have made it harder. I could have made it harder. I probably should have, but I have like so much information for us to go through. So I just decided to not make it too difficult, right? There are some times that are coming that are not going to be good times, right? Hard times, right? That are going to be upon us. It's already hard. I believe I'm not really sure because like I barely leave my house or anything, and everything just comes to me like. But yeah. So we had this high take out this high, whereas in Ethereum that didn't happen. So this was SMT, sequential SMT, because it happened between Q2 and Q3. So whenever you have price action like this, right, and you have bullish sequential SMT and we have bearish sequential SMT and bullish sequential SMT during the same cycles, the first SMT will act as what? A draw on liquidity, a magnet. And this is a real magnet. This isn't just like equal lows are a magnet. Which equal lows are a magnet? Not always. This is always a magnet, right? Always. So when if you have bullish sequential SMT and then you have bearish sequential SMT during the same cycle, price is going to gravitate to the first sequential SMTs, low or high. Do you see that you're learning new things every time I talk? Every time. And this is literally nothing. Right? So here, what do you want to see before you even consider doing anything? Like before you consider even buying, you consider selling, what do you do? What do we do? What do you need to see? You need to see sequential SMT between the yearly cycles quarters. That's what you need to see. That's all you need to see. And once you have that, just shoot. I believe that, we have almost perfected the futures markets. That's what I believe. Almost there. Like I really want to see, like, when I say perfection, I mean, like, I want to see like 95% accuracy, 90. That's what I aim for, right? That's what I want to see. Here, look at this. We had, right, and this is everything happened in between, right, the first quarter and the fourth quarter of the previous cycle, right? First of all, there was SMT here between this low and this low. You can check your charts for this, right? There was SMT between this low and this low. I want to look at the NASDAQ. Okay. There was SMT between this high. No, my bad. This low and this low, right? You guys can see. And it's only sequential SMT if it takes out the lowest low or the highest high of the cycle, right? It's not just a high that formed or a low that formed within a cycle. It has to be the highest high or the lowest low, right? So here we had, first of all, starting our week, we had price take out the highest high of the previous cycle, right here. There was SMT between this and the Dow. Price fell. But why did price reverse? Why? You can make this shit up, bro. Right? We had price drop and it reversed. Why? Because there was SMT between this low and this low. It rallied. There's SMT between this candle, then it rallied again. Then what happened again? What happened here? Let me go to the, it's clearer with this. What happened here? We had SMT again. But this isn't sequential SMT. Oh my God. I have something I want to talk about right now, but we gotta wait until next week. Right? Because this high is very important. It's very important, but I want you guys to study this high. This specific high, this specific swing high, I'm giving you guys all the clues right now. Study this specific swing high right here. Please study this specific swing high right here. This one. You see? The one that formed on Monday, 04 March at 1 p.m. Very important. We're going to talk about this. I don't even know if I should talk about this. Because once you have highs like this, right? These specific highs, you don't need a higher time frame P theory. You don't need a higher time frame P theory at all. You don't need it. You can expect price to just reverse once it trades about. Right? Okay, right now we have SMT between this high and this high. Where do you think the next drawn liquidity is? Remember, we're not guessing right now. Right? The next drawn liquidity is more than likely below these lows. So price retraces or anything, it's probably going to go below these lows afterwards. If that happens, during, right, the second quarter of this current monthly cycle, right? If there's SMT between this low and a low that forms somewhere here, could be, right? What do we expect after that? A reversal. Right, so we could get something that is boom, boom, boom. Do you see how like we can like predict this beforehand by using this? Simply amazing. Right here we have these highs, these lows, my bad, these lows, right? Price trade rallied, failed to take out this low, rallied, came back down, failed to take out this low, rallied again, and still failed to take this low out. This is food for the algorithm, right? That actually runs price. So price wants one of these lows, or even both of them. What would give us the confidence to buy this SMT? If there is not SMT, listen, if there is no SMT, then we'll be bearish. But once there is SMT, we're bullish until the US dollar starts or whatever it has going on. So this week we had sequence of SMT here first, then we had it here again during the same quarters. So you can have up to two, right? Sequential two to three sequential SMTs in between two quarters. But we usually have price action like this during, the first quarter with A, which is accumulation. And what do we have here? See, none of this is random, right? What do we have here? This is the first quarter, which is usually choppy. All of this is choppy right now, right? And I want you guys to pay attention to this. This is the contract expiration date. It's March 15th, Friday, right? Friday before the third quarter begins. Study that. I don't want to tell you guys everything, right? But that's important, right? That is very important. So you study. We're going to be studying after, well, now for the coming week, we'll be focusing on the lows or the highs and the imbalances that formed in this quarter. Because there will be more reactive during the second quarter. And whatever happens during this quarter, right, will define the range of the third quarter. Do you understand? And due to the fact that we have a contract expiration date right here, we can expect some sort of volatility. So imagine if there's like secret SMT between here and here, while there's contract expiration date here. What do you expect to happen? Amazing stuff, my friends. Amazing stuff. Whether if it's a sell, then we will see a high being taken out, and there will be sequential SMT, and it's as easy as that. It rarely fails, and that is why I love it. Look at this. This was sequential SMT. Do you remember this? This was sequential SMT as well. Reverses. Price trades below this low. SMT reversals. It's crazy. Look at these highs. Pressure below this high, reverses. Pressure below this low. This was sequence SMT as well. Reverses. This was sequence SMT as well. Reverses. Why did price trade back above these highs? This became a magnet. Listen, once there is SMT happening twice within the same cycle, the first SMT that happens is going to be what? It's going to be that's the real magnet. That's the real magnet. So this was right here, right? This was the first sequential SMT between this high and this high. This was the second. What happened afterwards? Price gravitated towards these highs. It took them out completely. What activated this run higher? This lower time frame sequence SMT, which I remember because we talked about it, right? This is between the Thursday and the Wednesday, right, of this month, of this week. So we had price run above here, sequential SMT, fall. There was no activation above here. Activation happens when we're referring to a lower time frames sequential SMT, which occurred right in the same direction of the higher time frame sequential SMT. Price fell. Once you see price falling, there is sequential SMT. You don't need to trade that. You just wait for the second one that opposes this direction on the same cycle that you're on. So once price trades below this low, there was sequential SMT. We wait for this to happen. And then that's where you get explosive moves. Just like here, when we had sequential SMT between this high and this high. Then there was sequential SMT again between this low and this low. Right? That's how it works. And whenever we get into bearish market conditions, this will just be the opposite. So I hope that you guys like took something away from this. I've been here for like, how long have I been here? I don't even know. I've been here for a while, I believe. Not sure how long. 15 minutes. 40 minutes. So just, study these things and we'll get back into, we'll get into the actual good stuff next week, Wednesday. So I promised you guys that we would talk either Friday or Saturday. Now we're talking Friday. Right, so came up on my promise very well. Hope you guys have a wonderful night. I'm so tired right now. I had 4 hours of sleep last night. Hope you guys have a wonderful night. And enjoy your weekend. Don't do too much work. We'll be back on the charts on Sunday. Don't stress yourself. Right? Don't stress yourself. You'll get it. You make the money you want to make. You'll end up making so much money that you just don't end up caring about money. Right? You'll get to levels such as that. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys Sunday. A wonderful weekend.